Welcome, everybody, and I hope all you gobbler getters are ready for part 2 of a story that began on last week's show down in Kansas. You see, 3 of my daughters and I each had 2 turkey tags available to fill, so no way could we do justice to each story within the story in only one show. It all took place with Midwest Whitetail Adventures in Republican Valley, Kansas, which is located just northeast of Kansas City. Go over here and put your hand around the bases of that. And the one above us got dual drop tines on it. To me, that's the coolest thing in the world ever. They offer all kinds of hunting opportunities on over 30,000 acres of prime Kansas habitat. But in this case, my daughters and I made the trip for spring turkeys. Well, they love to hunt anything. If it walks, crawls, or flies, they'll hunt it. Looking back to last week, on her first morning with me acting as daddy, guide, and caller, and I said, kill him. He's about 25 yards. And she's not hearing me. She is so intent on the moment. She didn't hear me. She was waiting for that perfect shot that you hope to get, and he wasn't giving it. And he turned around and he walked away. And I said, why didn't you kill him? She said, well, you didn't tell me to. I said, I told you to kill him 3 different times, or when he gobbled and he turned sideways, you should have killed him then. She just got so flustered into the moment. You know, and jeepers, that happens. That's a memory that'll last a lifetime, but her hunt didn't end there. You got her Remingtons locked and loaded?
We're gonna go like a family.
On the last day, in come 3 puffing and strutting jakes, totally silent. Watch this little encapsulation to see how she regained her composure.
Very slow. They're right here. They're 20 yards.
They had a sight on a jake decoy that we had out with some hens, and they were just focused on him. So we had a chance to move and get our guns up in position and so forth. One on the right held his head up to give me a perfect shot at about 22 yards.
I'm gonna shoot mine and then yours will put his head up.
I shoot, whack, drop the turkey. The other 2 start leaving. Donnie puts one into him. But we got 2 of them just like that in an instant. Again, never said a single word the whole day. And all of a sudden they just appeared like a beautiful apparition right in front of us.
Not a
Oh
sound.
my God! That was so quick.
Not a sound, and all of a sudden, here they come right through. Just 3 of them all puffed out together. Holy buckets. 7 months pregnant, here you are.
Turned out with a very, very happy ending. We got 2 of them together. Yes, they were jakes. Big deal.
Doing it with you, being this pregnant, is very special.
Then there were my daughters, Jasmine and Mackenzie's first morning hunt together when, as you'll see, they attempted the old 1, 2, 3 countdown.
Okay. One, 2. Okay. 3. Jazzy's bird drops. Mine ran and flew. Last year, Donnie and I had that, where it was just like a second difference in her shot versus mine. And so when I shot, my bird just like went to move up, like fly up.
That part of the story ended in a marvelous harvest for one and a frustrating flat-out miss by the other.
Sisterly love.
Anything could have happened on each hunt you've seen summarized, and it definitely did in part 1 of Tom Tales from Kansas. Thankfully, as I mentioned, the 4 of us all had the opportunity to fill 2 tags each, and there's a whole lot more exciting turkey hunting action coming up in part 2. Continuing now in Kansas with Midwest Whitetail Adventures, in turkey hunting as well as in most things in life, persistence inevitably makes good things happen, right? Well, as you're about to see, I mean, yeah, sort of.
Go see your bird, Jazz. Nice and thick. It could have been pretty thick.
Greenish looking.
Very light
that
in
bird.
colors. Wow.
Back to Mackenzie and Jasmine in the blind after the harvest of a gorgeous tom by one and a frustrating miss by the other.
Not really sure how I missed because to me I was right on it.
Soon enough, though, Mackenzie will be getting another chance.
Let's get closer.
We're sitting there and 2 more toms gobbling like crazy behind us.
There he is. Just see his head poking up over that hill.
Excited, ready. Okay, I'm gonna get something still.
There's a second one. Oh, getting excited.
Nice big toms coming down towards the decoys, just coming, and suddenly they stopped and started to turn and go towards the woods instead.
One of them went into the woods there. I'm gonna try and get that second one before he goes too. I don't have a shot. He was too fast.
After that, kind of gave it up for a little while, sat there, kind of waited. Next thing we know, here comes another one. All by himself, nice tom also. Came down almost exactly where the other ones came from. He was closer though, and was going all the way again until he was going to turn and go towards decoys, stop, started going for the woods again.
Whenever he gets in front of my gun.
It's like, okay, I'm gonna get this guy.
That was it. Enough is enough for that headstrong young lady who very seldom misses anything.
I really feel like I should just take this sucker off.
It had to be the scope, that's all I heard. It just had to be the scope. So she resighted in only to find out that indeed she was correct.
If I were you, I would aim right here and we could tell.
Mackenzie's shotgun was consistently shooting high and to the right.
Same thing.
Naturally, after making the proper adjustments, one would think Mackenzie's confidence would be mended.
That second one though, I was aiming right here.
Not whatsoever. After all of that, she took off the scope, preferring just to sight down the barrel to a bead.
The next day, we went out and had beautiful tom come in. Strutted all the way across the whole big field, like 250 some yards. Called him, purring, everything. He's coming at me, got super excited. He's only the one. Jazzy's gun is down. She says, this one's yours. You are going to get this. He came all the way in, but it stopped at about 59.5 yards. And I thought, okay, I've shot turkeys at about 60 yards. I can do this. I was on site and I just kind of dropped it down a little bit. And shot, and missed, and shot, and missed, and watched him run off. At that point, I was extremely frustrated and thought, why? Really?
Uh-oh, what's a girl to do? I guess you'll all find out just as soon as we return.
Okay?
Okay, continuing down in Kansas, 3 toms are still running free after as many Mackenzie misses. Following the taking of every measure she could possibly imagine to correct the problem, Mackenzie was absolutely at her wit's end. What would you do? What she decided was to completely wipe the slate clean, borrowing a Remington from one of the guides, and then keep hunting.
So after the miss, our guide Jason was actually farther behind us and watched the whole thing. And came up and said, all right, well, we should probably move to a different spot.
Now don't forget, both girls have open tags. In fact, Mackenzie still has both.
And at this point, I now have a different gun. I actually ended up borrowing one from one of the other guides here. Very, very thankful for that.
Good luck.
All right, thanks, thank you.
And sitting there waiting, calling, nothing's making noise, nothing's happening. And finally one little hen comes in and picked and ate and pecked and ate and pecked and ate. And once she was gone, we thought we heard a couple gobbles. They sound like they were coming in. And out of nowhere, it started downpouring. But what do you do? Weather happens. So, morning of day 3. We are in, again, another new fun blind. And this one is probably about 250 yards from another roosting tree. Gobbling like crazy. Jazzy and I are both super excited. We're like, okay, we're finally gonna get our 1, 2, 3 boom. It's gonna happen. But nothing was coming in. They just didn't want to keep getting closer. And I was trying everything I could to call, but I didn't want to call too much. So then I kind of stopped calling to see if maybe they would just naturally come in, because this was a feed spot. So they came to this certain spot every morning for the last 8 days, I believe the guide said. So we totally felt the whole time, this is gonna happen. We're gonna get this. Suddenly, silence. No more gobbles. Tried calling, no response. But then, we heard one faint gobble. And our guide, who was probably about 100 yards or so behind us, made a couple good cutting calls. And we got a gobble out of it. In fact, we got 2.
Here we go, guys.
So we got our guns up, we got ready. Jazzy notices them coming around this little edge of a hill to a trail, but from my view, all I could see was a bush, so I had to wait till they got closer towards the decoys.
All right, here we go. Here they come, right there. You see them, Kims? 1, 2, 4. You got 1, 2, 3, 4.
They came in, 5 of them, and she said, all right, I'll shoot left, you shoot right. I said, all right, let's do this. We're gonna get 1, 2, 3, boom. And we did.
Woo! Hold on. That's the biggest adrenaline rush ever.
That was extremely relieving.
Yeah, that was quick. I looked over there. All right, guys, here we go. Let's go check out these birds. What? Boom! Oh, we did it. 1, 2, 3.
That's what I needed. Right there.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yes, thank you.
1, 2, 3, boom.
Really?
Yeah. Please spot. There was not even a sound. There's not even a
I'm proud.
Oh, I'm so excited, you guys.
Okay, to get up onto the soapbox a little about our experiences in Kansas with Midwest Whitetail Adventures, before we close today, like I said earlier, about anything could have happened and did happen during the course of our hunts.
Oh, getting excited.
And you know, sometimes a hunter wins when it comes time to laying down a big old tom, while at other times, one just plain doesn't.
Ready?
A miss may be the result of human error or something mechanical,
Take the scope off. I feel like it was kind of off on my shot.
which Mackenzie sure found out the hard way.
Same thing.
Your second one's here.
That second one, though, I was aiming right here.
In other cases, the adrenaline rush of the moment can get the best of a person's ability to think and act, as they're well trained to do. Right, Donnie?
And I said, why didn't you kill him? She said, well, you didn't tell me to.
But you know something? Hallelujah. What fun is a guaranteed bet? Why would anyone minus themselves from all of the challenges that always make it impossible to predetermine any hunt's outcome? Was there some cussing spewed out by my ladies going on behind the scenes at various times? You know there was. Enough to make any sailor blush, I can assure you. I just always laugh with them, saying how wonderful it is when an adventure turns into an emotional roller coaster.
I don't know what happened. I've never missed before.
Hey, you're not the only person who's ever missed a turkey.
It's something you know exactly what you're signing up for in advance. But when that bride takes a person mercilessly screaming from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows before bringing them straight back up again, now those memories will be remembered. Jasmine, Donnie, and after all her struggles, Mackenzie all eventually got bird or birds, as did I. But you know what? Many years from now, when I'm long gone and my daughters find themselves sitting around recalling this trip to Kansas, I promise that the very least they'll remember are the particulars of any turkey anyone took. It'll definitely be Tom tales of the ones that got away, their moments of greatest frustration, and all the sisterly cursing that'll be making them remember and laugh, which I might add is not something any of them were able to bring themselves to do during the awkward moments at the time. I'm Babe Winkelman. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, everybody, hey, good hunting.